Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're working on the Spectrum Afghan. It's a 12-point Afghan. It's really quite amazing. What we're going to be doing is that I'm going to get you by this whole middle section to get you started, because once I get you by that, the rest of this Afghan is absolutely identical. The only difference is that it's getting bigger, so a little more stitches keep getting added to each round, and I'll show you how to do that. Now there is a method to my madness that when you really look at it here, you'll see that there's 3 shades of green, and essentially I went from light, a little bit darker to the darkest, and then I threw in 1 line of white to really give it a pop, and then I went from the purples to the dark pinks to light pink, and then I transitioned again, and that's how I've done it. So I've just went into my stash, I saw what colors that I had available, and then I just ran with it. This size that you see on the screen is 48 inches in diameter. It's not big enough for me yet. I'm going to continue to work on it, but this is absolutely amazing. So let's get started on this particular project. If you would like this free pattern, it's available on my website. Just go to the free patterns up at the top, and this is in the Afghan section, and it's called the Spectrum Afghan, and you will see all the written directions, more about this Afghan on how I was designing it, and then you will find the written instructions, and then I went ahead and did a crochet diagram for those that could follow along as well, which is what I preferred the most. So now let's get started. I am using a size J hook. It's a 6.millimeter tulip hook, just like so, and I am going to be using the With Love by Red Heart in order to do this. Don't be afraid to substitute the yarn with the Red Heart Super Saver or Bernat Super Value, because you'll get the same kind of look, and it's just up to you on what you have available in your yarn stash or at a store near you. To get started, we're going to create a slip knot. There are slower tutorials available for those that are learning how to crochet. We're going to slip in our hook to our slip knot, just like so. I want you now to chain 4, and this does not count as 1, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I want you to slip into your hook into the beginning, just like so, the beginning stitch, and pull the yarn through and through to create your first center ring. So moving up in the directions, what we have is that I want you to take this center piece, or this tail, and just kind of pinch it down into around the ring, just like so, and we're going to crochet that into position. Now moving up in the instructions, we're now going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and we want to go around the center ring 11 more times for double crochet. So we're just going to wrap, go into the center of the ring, pull through 2 and 2. So let's try that again. So wrap into the center, okay, and we want a total of 11 of those. The first chaining of 3 counts as 1 extra, so you'll have a total of 12 by the time you're done. So continue that, and we'll meet you back up where we'll slip stitch and move along to the next round. Okay, so now we want to slip stitch to the beginning, just like so, and pull through and through. So that was the top of the chain 3 that we did that to, and now I want you to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and I want you to go right directly underneath that, and we're going to put another double crochet, just like that. And I want you to put 2 double crochets into each one of the stitches all the way around, and when you do that, we're taking that group of 12 that we went around the circle, and basically because we are doing 2 double crochets into each, we're actually going to create 24 stitches going around. So 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around. Be sure that you have 24 at the end. The counting of the rounds right in this level is really important, that we don't mess up at any point in order to keep all of our stitches counting properly as we go along. So 2 double crochets into every stitch, and we'll meet back up in just a second. Okay, I've now gone all the way around, and we just want to make sure there is 24, which there is, and I want you to slip stitch it to the top of the beginning 3, and that'll complete that round right there. Okay, so that was 2 double crochets into each. We're now moving on to round number 3. Simply just chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and on the very next stitch, which is right here, okay, it's not right underneath, it's right there, is that I want you to put 2 double crochets in. And now the next stitch is going to get 1 double crochet. So here's the repeat pattern. The next stitch is at 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. The next one is 1 double crochet. Okay, next one is 2 double crochets. Okay, and keep repeating that all the way around. So this one is 2 double crochets, the next one is a 1. So basically that's how you do it. So you put in 2 into 1, 1 into the next, 2 and then 1, 2, and 1 all the way around. We'll meet back up in just a second and we'll move along to your next step. Okay, we're all the way back around, and you can always tell if you've done it right is if your final stitch has 2 double crochets in it, and when you're growing an Afghan like this or even a hat, that is always true. So we're now going to slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain just like we did before, and like this. And so let's move on to row number 4. Okay, and this is the final revolution before we start doing the points. So let's begin automatically to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and now I want you now to go into the very first stitch, which is over here, okay, and for 1 double crochet, and the next one is going to get 2 double crochets. Okay, so here's the repeat pattern. You're going to put 1 double crochet into the first stitch, another double crochet into the next, and then the final one, the 3rd one, is going to get 2 double crochets. Okay, so let's review that one more time. So here's the repeat pattern. So you're going to put 1 double crochet into the first one, 1 double crochet into the second, and 2 double crochets into the third, and continue to repeat that same pattern all the way around until you get to the end, where we're going to slip stitch and meet back up in just a second. We're now all the way back around, and it's time to slip stitch again to the top of the 3rd chain of the beginning chain that we started with. And again, I finished with the 2 double crochets in the same stitch, which means I'm doing it right so far. So now let's begin again, and we are now on row number 5, and row number 5 is when we start creating the points. So we're going to start again, and we're just going to chain 1, and then I want you to single crochet directly underneath it just to bring this balance. This is the middle of between 2 points. Now if you look at the crochet diagram, you will see that when 2 stitches came together on the row underneath, just like so, we're always going to be creating the point on the second one when they come together, just like so. So looking across, you got single, single, here's another that are together, it's going to be the second one that is in the middle, and that's what we need to pay attention to. So we're immediately just going to jump to the second one for a double crochet for 2 double crochets into that same stitch. I now want you to chain 2, 1 and 2, and this will always be how points are formed. We're going to come back into the same stitch for another 2 double crochets, and I need you now to skip over. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to skip over to the second one. So we're just going to miss the first one, come to the second for a single crochet, just like this. And now if you skip over to the second, which is the next, second piece of that V, that's where you're going to put the next point. So 2 double crochets in, chain 2, 2 double crochets in, and that's your next point. So we're just going to skip the next one, go to the next for a single crochet, and then I want you to skip the next one and go to the second, and that's, again, it's over the second part of that one there, and just continue to repeat that all the way around, and every point is going to get 2 double crochets, 2 chain, 2 double crochet, and there will be a single crochet in between, just like so. Here we have, so there's that. We're going to skip a stitch, single crochet, skip a stitch, and then you're on the second piece again and create another point, and you can see it's starting to take shape. So let's continue that next. In the original that I had, I actually changed my color after I finished this revolution, so I want to slip stitch. I've done the final point here, and I'm just going to slip stitch to where I did the single crochet, just like so. So I pull through and through. But you will notice that with the points when they grow up is that there's a nice clean line gap that exists, and if I change colors now, that color will bleed over and will not be very effective. So what I need you to do before you change this color, or anytime you change a color, is that you need to move the slip stitch off to the one side. So the slip stitch when you start the next row can never be in the center here. It has to be moved over. So we're just going to come immediately to the next stitch over. Okay, and then in this revolution only is that we want to do that one more time so that we're on the final of the slip stitch. Now technically if I wanted to continue, I could just continue the same yarn, but I don't want to. I want to stop. I just want to stick in my hook to the final here before I transition, and I want to simply just trim my yarn, and I just want to grab the next color. And I want to create a slip knot. I hate when Afghans start falling apart. It's just my own security to do so, and I want to slip that knot onto the crochet hook. And instead of just pulling it this color through the slip knot. I just want to let it fall, and I want to pull through the new color. So this will allow you to have clean separation of colors in each of your rounds. I want you now to grab the new yarn up into your hand, and you're going to have two stragglers. You're going to have the old color and the new color. So to begin this revolution, even if you didn't change color, you would still just chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Just like so. And now we're immediately into the gap space on the outside. So no matter what we do for the remainder of this Afghan, all points are all the same of 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. Now if you remember when we chained up 3 there, that actually counts as a double crochet in the rules of crochet. The first one is directly right underneath here. Okay, some people like to jump over, but then you'll have your points growing unequally. So just grab and just go under the first one there, right into the stitch. Sometimes you have to move these to the side in order to see that. And now we're just going to let this fall out of the way, and we're just going to immediately jump over, and we're just going to skip all of this section in the middle. You're going to skip over 3. Okay, this is the only time that you'll be skipping 3 while we're doing this. Okay, and because we're creating the first point in the middle, just like that. And so now I want you to come and do the outside again. So essentially this revolution here, row number 6, is the same as all of them going all the way around. However, it's where it's grabbing in the middle that will be different from this point going forward. Okay, so we're just trying to establish our pattern at this point. So essentially you're going to jump over 6 or jump over 3 and come right into the top. You can just look at it and say, this is the next point. I only want the second one of it, and just look at it very quickly that way instead if you wanted to. So we're doing a point. So essentially that single crochet that we started off with is becoming obsolete. We're no longer going to be worrying about that. So in the next revolution, which is row number 7, is going to be identical to everything that you are going to see for the remainder of your Afghan. And so what I'm going to do as well is that I'm going to change a color again when I get back around, because I want to make that very clear to you on where you start and stop when it comes to transitioning your colors. So continue to make your points all the way around, 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet into each one, and this is helping to start grabbing or making your Afghan bigger as you go all the way around. So I'm about to finish this round, and essentially we've got our 2 in. We just got to do our final double crochet going down the side, and then immediately just slip stitch to the top of the 3rd over here. So I'm not going to change the color just quite yet. I'm just going to let you bear with me for a second. So we cannot automatically start crocheting at this point. We're directly right in the center of the gap. So we want to maintain that center of the gap because you can see it all the way around. So in order to get out of that gap, we have to slip stitch, and you're going to have to do this every rotation. So this is exactly identical. We just immediately come to the very next one, slips, and do a slip stitch. And essentially what we've done is that we've moved over the second piece just like so. And so now we can do our chain 3. So what's different in this revolution is that there's more posts. There's more posts in the way, because every time we go to grow this section is going to get longer and longer, and it's going to get more and more. So it's only growing by 1. Okay, so basically every point has just now got an extra double crochet on one side, just like so. So you got your chain, 1 double crochet. You immediately have your point, which is 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet in, just like so. And now down this side we have, like, the chain counts as 1, we have the next one, so now we have 2 on this side. So the first one is right directly underneath the first. Okay, you just go right into the stitch, and then the next one. So now we just immediately jump over. So you immediately just jump over the 2 middle ones right here to create the gap for this next row. So we just jump over those, go to the 1, 2, and go to the 3rd if you wish, or just visualize it. Just jump over these 2 and then just climb up the other side. And because you climbed up this side for 2, this side should also be for 2. So if it's not, you're going to have your points growing at an unequal level. So now we're just going to double crochet ourselves around our point as always. And now we climbed up this side with 2, It means we climb down this side for 2. And continue that all the way around. I'm going to continue this all the way around and show you what to do to change color one more time. And basically everything from this point forward is exactly identical. The only difference now, it's going to get bigger, and you can change the colors as many times as you feel like it. So I'm ready again. I've just come back all the way around, and even if I wasn't going to change color, I would do exactly the same thing. So I've just made my point, I've come down, and now I just want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that we started with. So if I was going to continue this color, if we did what we did in the past, is that we just have to immediately go over to the next area. Now some people want to change the color right now. You cannot do that. You literally have to slip stitch into the next one and just leave your hook just like so. We want to trim off our yarn just like this. We want to grab our next color that we want. I'm just going to change it back just for the sake of tutorial, and I'm going to use this loop now to pull through to start. Okay, so this now makes this a nice clean color transition. And again, just like I did when I changed the color to pink, is that I just want to lay these on top and capture them as they go. And you can see by slip stitching over, I'm no longer in the center space, so that center is not going to get harmed. So you're now going to chain up 3, and now you got more distance now in between. So we're just going to double crochet ourselves, leave these stragglers on top of the line to trap them into position, just like so. And so now you have, the first one counts as a chain or as a double crochet, so now you have 3 instead of 2. And now we do the point, and you can see I'm still holding the yarn straggler into position as I'm going over top of it, so I can safely cut it at the end and not worry about it falling out as we go. So now I've got enough of it in there. I'm just going to push it in behind my work. So here's the thing. We now can see we got 1, 2, and 3 up this side. This means on this side we're going to climb down 3. So let's just double crochet into the first one. 1. And you know what? You really don't need to count this. Once you get onto the rhythm of this pattern, it's actually very simple. So now I've just climbed down 3. I'm going to skip the 2 middle ones right in the center and immediately just go to the second one in on the other one. And so we're going to climb up this side 3. And you will run out of stitches, so you know that you've got it right, which I did, and we are immediately going to do our point again. So you can change colors as often as you want. You can just do one solid color if you wish. You don't have to be as creative as I was. So if we went up this side 3, this means that we go down this side of 3, and that's how you basically finish off and just continue to go around and around to the size Afghan that you want. And at the end you just have to just slip stitch and just fasten in your ends, and you are good to go, and you will have your very own Spectrum Afghan designed by myself. So on behalf of the Crochet Crowd, I'm your host Mikey, and please enjoy the rest of your day.